Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, what happened with Bitcoin today? This morning, I saw it shoot straight up past $50,000, and now we are back to 47. I know a lot of you guys are not liking it. You're starting to panic, starting to doubt whether or not you're doing the right thing by holding. Well, today I'm going to address all those things in this stream. So, thanks for tuning in. As always, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. 2 streams almost every day, 11:30 and 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you hit that notification bell and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and check out the brand new CryptosRUs.com with all the latest news, article, and guides. Welcome, guys. Hopefully you guys are doing okay today. Some of you guys are doing just fine. Some of you guys, I'm sensing, is not doing so good. So what is going on with Bitcoin? Well, let's get started. 47.5 right now. So this was what I was talking about. This morning, we saw Bitcoin roughly around the same point shoot all the way past $50,000, looked like it was being bought by the billions, and then it started coming back down just as hard, and now we're at the same place as we were yesterday. So, number one, if you are panicking, realize that 24 hours ago, we were at exactly the same price. You can see right here on the side, minus $22. So, if you thought we were lower, no, we're not. Okay, we're at exactly the same point. But what prompted this to go up and down? Well, of course, the big thing that was announced this morning is, of course, inflation. CPI is what US use. CPI, Consumer Price Index, surged 6.8%, even higher than anticipated, because just a few weeks ago, it was calculated that it would be 6.7%, which is already bad, which is over 6.2% from October. So it actually came out even worse than expected. So as soon as this came out, actually it shot up. It shot up Bitcoin and the equities market. Surprisingly, I don't know why it shot up the equity market, but then all of a sudden it turned down. So this is clearly a ploy to get people to buy in. It was just a big whale manipulation. That's all really what it was, right? It was made to make people think that due to inflation numbers, Bitcoin is going to start skyrocketing right away, right? And then they just dumped it right back down. However, I mentioned this, how this could happen, because usually when inflation numbers are really, really high, they're not really well received by the equities market or overall, because people are starting to wonder what is Fed Chairman Powell going to do about it. He's been saying don't worry about inflation for quite some time, but now it's time for him to take action to kind of stop this, because if it doesn't stop and we're going up 6% or 7% every single month, well, that's going to lead to very bad things. That's going to lead to bad things. It's just not in the U.S. either, because let me show you this. You know, this is horrendous, okay? So all these other countries, I mean, they're in 20, 30, 40%. Some in the Sudan, 366%. Venezuela is 1,500%, right? So inflation is not a good thing right now, as governments continue to print more money to kind of fight the pandemic, and things are just getting worse. In fact, if you look at this article, in 2021 alone, the U.S. has printed 35% of the total U.S. dollars in circulation. That's 2021. That's not even counting 2020. 2020, it was like already 30% or 40%. And now we're like adding another 35% on top of that in 2 years, which is why if you look at this, the real M1 money chart, you could see how for 40, 50 years, it was pretty calm. It started going up around 2010, right when gold stopped moving. And then you could see what happened in 2020 and what's happening in 2021. Right, so inflation is definitely real. So unfortunately, if you're holding a lot of cash, it is being devalued right in front of you as more and more away is being chipped at it. You could say it's like a tax, basically. You're getting taxed 6.8% now every single month. So what does it have to do with Bitcoin, though? What does that have to do with Bitcoin? Well, we know Bitcoin was created for many different uses, and now one of them, the biggest one you could argue, well, I take that back, not biggest one, but one that a lot of Wall Street guys and investors and financial people are looking at is the fact that Bitcoin is a better hedge against inflation than gold. Before, all previous times, all previous recessions, going back thousands of years, if you were afraid of instability, you're afraid that the fiat was going to go to zero, what did you do? You buy gold, right? But that stopped sometime in the last 20 years. Gold has not appreciated in price at all, which means that it's a horrible hedge against inflation. It has been for the last 12 years, and Bitcoin in the same time went up millions and millions and millions of percents. Now people are finally starting to realize that Bitcoin is not a joke, and it is a better hedge against inflation. It's a store of value among many things. Of course, it's a network, it's a currency, and there's so much more to it. But in the end, this is what's helping drive Bitcoin up. Of course, we have heard from many big people already: Paul Bator Jones, Bill Miller, Mike Novogratz, Chamath, and many others, Tim Draper. They're all saying the same thing, right? Even Robert Kiyosaki, everyone that really hates the endless printing of money, really wants to protect their buying power, wants to protect their wealth from inflation. They're all buying and hoarding Bitcoin at this point. The only person is probably Peter Schiff, and he'll never buy Bitcoin. but everyone else is turning to Bitcoin. So long run, this is going to help Bitcoin. Short term, I mentioned whenever there's panic, there's scare, people are going to do wild things. But long term, this is going to be a very good thing for Bitcoin. Now, with that out of the way, because this is the biggest news, I have positive things to share besides long-term Bitcoin being a great store of value. I looked at fear index this morning. It dropped to 24. So a little bit lower than yesterday and last week. So anytime Bitcoin is in the 20s, it tends to form a bottom. Sometimes it goes lower. Sometimes it goes as low as 10. That's when extreme fear is happening. But right now there is fear. The extreme fear is not to that extent, but it's still there. But like I've said before, whenever you see Bitcoin hover around extreme fear levels for a while, it tends to bounce because it tends to show that too many people are scared and overselling and just panic dumping. And that's not what you want to do. All the insanely wealthy people, all the wealthy people that have made their millions or billions through investing have all bought low and then sold high. They don't panic sell. They wait for the right opportunity and they pounce on it. They take advantage, right? And that is, I think, a great opportunity. I've been saying that for a few days now, maybe a week or so. I think this is a really good opportunity to stock up because we will get through this. We will get through it. All right. Now, what are other positive news besides this may indicate a bottom? Well, there's just a lot of things. Let's start with Plan B. Plan B lost a lot of respect for some reason. Well, I get it. I get a lot of people didn't like how his prediction of 60 or 98,000 by the end of November. A lot of people didn't like that he was wrong, but again, he's not a time traveler. He doesn't have a magic 8-ball. He was making predictions based on what he saw back in June when Bitcoin was at 30,000. But anyways, a lot of people started ganging up on him. But he's not giving up. He still thinks that, 69,000 is not a top for Bitcoin. Many of you guys have said that. I see it in the live chat. People are arguing, yeah, 69,000 at the top. It was the same thing as 64,000. I heard the same thing. Trust me, I've gone through this so many times. Every single time there's a dip or correction, people say, well, that was the top. That was the top. We just lived through it at 64,000 back in April, May. People said the same thing. When we hit 28,000 as a low, everyone is saying, oh, we're going to go down to 10,000. We're going to go down to 10,000. 64 was our top. We're going to go down to 10,000. And so many people sat on the sidelines, panic sold, and guess what happened? We recovered, formed a new high, and we saw the same thing happen when we fell down to 40,000. That was just a few months ago, right? So every time we fall, there's this new, I don't know, this new wave of bearish people that say, oh, okay, that was the top. No, I don't believe so. And it's not just according to on-chain metrics or the news, or even due to inflation. It's really because of supply and demand. And I've been showing you guys that for quite some time. Demand is going up, supply is plummeting, and it will catch up. It will catch up. And this is what I'm talking about. This shows how much Bitcoin has been removed from the exchanges. Since March of 2020, when Bitcoin was at $3,800 till now, 650,000 Bitcoins have been removed from the exchanges. You do the math, that's billions upon billions that's been removed from circulation. It's in cold wallets, it's in custody service, it's off the exchanges, and it continues to dip despite this recent correction that we're experiencing, right? That we're in. It doesn't matter because the whales, the smart money, the big money, they're buying it up. They're no longer buying gold. They're buying Bitcoin, right? So this shows you too. New NYDIG shows the outflow of exchanges. This is just another way to look at it. You can see that even though the price is going down, the outflow continues to increase and escalate. And this also shows a liquid supply, which shows the number of Bitcoins that is basically not moving, not being traded, and that continues to tank. Yes, I mean, that continues to go up while Bitcoin's price has fallen, right? And it's very different than even April and May. You could see this is the very telling chart that shows you how what we're going through right now is very different than in May, right? There was a lot of panic in May. There's not as much panic as you think right now. For some of you guys that think the world is coming to an end, it is not. We will get through this. So this is ultimately the thing that's really important. Now, if you see a liquid supply start dropping like a rock, and you see deposits into exchanges increase exponentially, then I would say, yeah, there is probably something to worry about. But right now, that's not what we're seeing. We're seeing behind the scenes, there's actually a lot of buying going on. And if you don't understand how there could be a lot of buying going on without affecting the price, we'll look into OTC market. Research OTC market, research what it means, and how two people basically can make massive amount of trades between each other without affecting the order book of the exchanges, which is what the price is based on. It's not based on everything else. The price of Bitcoin right now is based on what's on the exchanges, which is actually a very small amount of the total supply that's out there. So once you realize that, then you realize it's really insignificant. All right? So these are the things I want to share with you guys right off the bat. Hopefully this calms you guys down a little bit. But if you don't believe me, tonight, since I'm not going to be streaming, I will be creating a video, a very special video throughout 2021. And I think you guys will really enjoy it. Some of these dips I've mentioned, some of these corrections that you guys all of a sudden forgot about. We went through so many so far this year. And there's probably a few more left in the next few weeks. But we've gotten through it all, guys, and we will continue to get through this together. And if we have to go into 2022, so be it. So what, right? What's a few more months to wait? It's okay. So hopefully this helps you guys. All right, now what else is there? Just a few other pieces of news. Little stuff here and there. For example, FTX, they added Avalanche. That's a pretty big thing. You guys know I'm a big fan of Avalanche. Now every single major exchange is adding them. They got added on Binance recently. Now FTX, Voyager added them. And the more exchanges they're on, the better it is. Some of you guys have asked me about Audius recently. And I saw this, and it's not a big deal, except the concept of it is a big deal. Audius built a radio station in a metaverse called DeFi Land. It's not Decentraland or Sandbox. But why this is important is because before this was built, if you were playing in a game, there was no music. It was just like whatever default music. But now that Audius has a radio tower, you can now stream music from Audius inside your game. And I thought about it. I'm like, the concept of this is just amazing. This is one of the things that you don't think about. A lot of projects and retailers, they may be building something in a metaverse, but is there actually new uses that come from it? Well, this is one of them. And imagine if AMC or Regal or any other movie theater, they build movie theaters inside Decentraland or any other metaverse, and then you could watch movies straight from it. Imagine that. Maybe even exclusive videos from it, right? So there's still a lot of use cases that are coming, and we just don't even realize it yet. So I just thought the concept of this is just really, really brilliant. Solana supposedly got hit by a DDoS attack, but the network remains online. Solana has been hacked before. I mean, I should say not hacked, DDoS before, where there was a ton of spam messages being sent, and it took them a few days to solve it. Hopefully they got through it, but right now it seems like they are experiencing it, but they're handling it okay. So we'll see. We'll see what comes from this. But Solana is a very, very, very fast blockchain. So last time, I think it hit like 400,000 transactions per second before it crashed the network. So that just shows you the potential of the network. It's actually really, really robust. And then lastly, there are a lot of Asian VCs that are putting $100 million into the brand new assembly chain from IOTA, which they announced recently. It's an EVM compatible chain built for DeFi, built for NFTs, and it shows that IOTA is very serious about drawing in dApps to their new chain and their ecosystem, and this $100 million is going to help them do so. Yes, that's a lot of money. Lastly, just want to show you brand new CryptosRUs.com. So I changed the design a few months ago. I thought it's good, but this looks so much better. So much better, right? So if you guys haven't checked it out yet, make sure you do so. The latest news, article, and guides. And you can find out everything about altcoins, right? Different kind of altcoins, top DeFi projects, NFTs. You want to get merchandise. You want to look at my NFTs. I mean, everything. Giveaways here, right? Check it out. I'm putting a lot of effort into this, so make sure you guys take advantage. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. Overall, I said my piece. Let's do some Q&A. All right, I apologize. I said a lot, so I missed out on some of the super chats, so I apologize. Growing up, Chris says, misery loves company. That's why we're all here. I think that's true. Usually when there's panic, there's more people in the stream. And I enjoy hanging out with you guys. Plan C is McDonald's. All right, let's see here. What else? Staff, member of 3 months. Are corrupt people using Tether to manipulate BTC? They could. But it still takes a lot of money to do so. I mean, it's not just a few million. You're talking about like tens to hundreds of millions to drive Bitcoin in any direction, right? So there's obviously there is manipulation, but maybe not as. No, I take that back. There is. Let's just put it that way. All right, what else is there? Who is listening to radio when you have Spotify? Well, not everyone has Spotify, but um, Carl, I don't know if you really mean it or you're trolling, but hey, Carl, like I said, people that make the most money in crypto are the ones that are the most patient. That's really it. No matter, despite what anyone says about how good they are with trading and this and that, and they may show their mansions and their Lambos and stuff, but really, what it comes down to is buying low and holding. Every single person that made a ton of money in crypto has simply followed that one strategy, right? So, Carl, if you're panicking, I would say, you know what? If you don't want to put any more money, that's fine. But just continue to hold and make sure that you don't do anything rash, because usually when you panic sell, that's when you really put yourself in a bind, because you'll be so anxious to look at the market to see if you're right, because if you're not and it goes up, then it forces you to panic buy back. But unfortunately, when you do so, you're buying back at a higher price, so you actually have less crypto, right? So Carl, as long as you know that you're in it for the right reasons and you're in it for a long haul, I would say continue the course. All right. Rins says you are the greatest. I appreciate that. Michael says 69K was not the top. I totally agree. It's not. Even we come back down, and we have done so already, right? It doesn't mean that was top. We're still straddling this, which is around the 50 moving average. But again, you could see, even when you zoom out on a 15-minute, you could see that we're still basically going sideways. We haven't formed a new low, right? And if you're really panicking, well, just zoom out. Go to the day chart and then realize that, yeah, we had up and downs. This is our local bottom. And then we had this U shape right here, right? And then we had a bottom around 40K. And now we're having a bottom around 47, 48K. But you could see we're still going upwards, right? So if you're really panicking, take a second, step back, and then zoom out. And then you zoom out to the weekly, and then you realize, okay, we are still on track. We didn't have any major falls. It's not like Bitcoin fell down to $5,000. No, it did not. So if you're truly panicking, just, maybe step away or zoom out or check your prices less. That's the best thing I could, best advice I could give you. All right, scrolling down. I mean, there's just way too many chats going on today, so I don't know if I'm missing anything. All right, I think I caught up here. Why would Elon risk his entire reputation on Doge? Because he's not. He thinks it's a joke, and he doesn't take it very serious like most people think he would as a billionaire. But you know what? He thinks he's just, he's just trying to help the community and just being lighthearted. Just like today, he tweeted out like he wants to quit his job and become an influencer. He just, on Twitter, it's just all jokes, right? He doesn't really care. XYO, it has to prove itself. It's no momentum right now. It's just the L1 just focused on location-based stuff, like IoT stuff, but they haven't really caught on. I'm going to prohibit withdrawals from Korean government. Okay. I wouldn't trust anything from CEO Crypto Quant. That guy is a fool. So I wouldn't trust anything that he says. Just based on my experience of how he handled the F2 pool situation back in like February and March of this year, I wouldn't trust anything he says. Dimitri, I don't know if you're trolling or not. There's always people that try to get me to say something. Hopefully this is not one of them. Hi, Cham. Hocham. If that is a real name, well, thanks for your support and keep holding. All right, what else is there? Jonathan says, buy more, always 20% correction before a new high. Yes, that I can't. Let's see if that's actually true. Let's see where we are now versus before. Let's say the last time we had a correction, 68. Okay, here, so 68 down to over here, to the very bottom was out 38%, but obviously we're not there. But let's see, like from previous time, how fell it far, like over here. 25%. And then over here was like a lot more. It was like 50%. Yep. So if you look at this, right? Yes. Fell down 55%. We held. Then we continue upwards. Fell 25%. We held. Then continue upwards. And this time we fell about 38%, even though that wicked down wick was just like slightly. So we're actually not that bad. I would say like more like here, like 30-something%. And where we are right now, yeah, it's around 30%. So yes, as you can see, throughout 2021, there was always a major dip before we rallied higher. Even if you go back here, very, very beginning, January of 2021, right? You could see we had a local top over here, and then we dipped down to over here, 32%. So before Bitcoin forms a new high, it does tend to go down first. It does tend to correct first. So thank you for whoever pointed that out. But that is true. That is true. Let's see. What do you think about Noodle Cash? The other George? I have no idea. Dimitri, I'm glad he's can you try Hero Coin, Hieroglyphics Crew, or Hero Coin? Today is probably not a good day to check out unknown coins, but I'm just going to see if this one comes up. No, it doesn't come up. Buy on Voyager and stake. Yeah, the good thing about Voyager is you don't actually have to do any kind of permanent staking. As soon as you buy something or you transfer something in, but they don't allow a lot of transfers and withdrawals directly. But if you do have crypto on there, you leave it there, then basically you're just earning interest, right? So that's a good thing. But of course, there's many other projects out there, like my partner BlockFi, which you're going to earn 9.5% by putting in USDT. And other stable coins is about 9%, so you could do that as well. So there's a lot of places where if you just want to park your cash or park your crypto and earn passive income, you could do so. And not only with these kind of services, but I mean, you could do it on exchanges. You could put it into wallets. You could do native staking of projects. You could do, a lot of them offer you to stake directly from their wallet. So there's a lot of projects that you can do so. And right now also, I mean, yeah, there's just, I guess every single project is like that. Hey, look. Hey, Bitcoin's coming up again, for those of you guys that are panicking. It's coming up. It's coming up. That's what she said. Can you check out Squid Game? No, I'm not going to check that out. No, I'm not going to check out that. That was a rug pull project, and people are still buying it for something. Your opinion on Ethereum right now to Christmas? I'm still very bullish on Ethereum. Today did not hold better than Bitcoin, but you could see last 7 days it has, last 30 days it has. So Ethereum is very, very strong. Dominance of Ethereum is rising, but overall, I think we're still going to see something towards the end of this month. Last 2 weeks, last week, we're going to see something, I believe. And if we don't, well, it's okay. Then we're going to see something in 2022. What is it with you guys? All right, if you guys are a founder of a project or you create a new project, don't send me $5 expecting me to give a review and try to pump your coin. Don't do it. Don't do it. If you want me to learn more about it, email me, but don't try to send me a super chat about an unknown project. And most likely it's unknown because you're a founder of a project, all right? Especially today. Of all days, especially today. How is it mathematically possible for these charts to be accurate with the price suddenly falling? Could Tether be responsible for this? No. I don't know why everyone keeps bringing up Tether. Tether is not responsible for this. It's people, especially the whales that are selling, that's driving this. Not Tether. They could utilize Tether, but it's not Tether's doing. It's whoever is trying to control the market. UFO on the next month. I have not kept up with UFO gaming. So they had a really good run, came back down. They're about the same place before they started a run. So, very promising play to earn game, right? Still not out yet. We'll just have to see how it does after it comes out. Stay on longer. We need a bigger bounce. I don't know if me staying on is going to help us bounce anymore, but we're getting a good bounce. I mean, overall, if you look at Bitcoin right now, it's really hugging this 47.8. You could go a little bit lower, but basically, this reminds me of when we were at 30,000. It really does, because during this period right here. During this period right here, you could see that the low was pretty much like around 20, 29, 30,000, right? And you could see the wicks. There's many times it tested it. But if you weren't paying attention to the low, you would see that, oh, this looks like it's just a downtrend, right? But it really didn't form a new low. It was technically still going sideways. It's just that the tops are lower until it wasn't, and then it started bouncing, right? So this was pretty hard. This was May all the way to end of July. This was 2 months. I think most of you guys forgot about this period. This was a lot worse than it is now, because that was when we were fresh off of 64,000, came back to 30,000 and below. And this was when people like Richard Harden was telling everyone that Bitcoin's go down to 10,000. And all these influencers let him do so on the stream. And that's why I got so pissed off at all these other guys that was giving him all this airtime, flooding everyone thinking that it was going to go down to 10,000. It didn't. It held, and we continued higher, right? So it reminds me a lot like that at a much shorter time frame. You look at when Bitcoin fell to 40,000, it took pretty much, a few weeks to recover. And right now, we're just barely in here for a week, right? We will get past this, so calm down. This is for that's what she said comment. Thinking of buying Engine and AMP. I like Engine quite a lot. I think they're very undervalued. I think AMP is oversold, but I do like Engine more than AMP at this point. I'm not going to look at that token, Marius. Thank you. All right, guys. I'll let you guys go. I gotta take off. I do have something special for you guys tonight. I do have a special video for you guys, right? And hopefully I get that out in time, so stay tuned for that. But you know what? Bitcoin saw some movement today because of inflation news and all that stuff that's going on with it. Long term, it's great for Bitcoin. Short term, maybe it causes a little more volatility, but overall, we will get through this, guys. This is just a giant shakeout, in my opinion. The bull run will continue, and all the metrics that show reserves and the liquid supply supports that. So I believe we will get through this. We will form a new top. We will continue on this bull run. All right, thanks for tuning in. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. But check out my video tonight and check out the brand new CryptosRUs.com. Make sure you do so right now. All right, take care, guys. Bye-bye.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.